Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Right. We're still doing this hadith here of not speaking in salah. Right. So if you look at the fuqaha, says that if a person, right, during salah, right, somebody asks him, for example, how much, what wealth do you possess, and then he gives a Quran ayat in response, al khayla wal bighala wal hamira. And although it's a Quran ayat, but because he's giving it in the response, his intention is the response to that person, then the salah will break. Likewise, somebody says, maybe the man want to tell, so he says, Ya Yahya khudil kitab, oh Yahya, take the kitab. So although you're reciting a Quran ayat, but your intention is to speak to someone and convey a message that will break your salah. Yes, if your intention is qiraat, then your salah doesn't break. Right. Then we come now to the fortune teller, right? So these are these people that can have some connections with the jinnat and shayateen and evil souls, and then they, the shayateen and the jinnat, they mix some, they give them some stuff they learned, and also they mix something else, and then they uh, say something about the future. So it is haram to actually to go to them. It's haram, and. And the hadith also explains that if a person goes to Arraf or Kahin, a fortune teller, and he believes what he says to be truth, then Nabi Akbar, then he has made kufr with the Quran. He made kufr with that which was revealed on Nabi Karim, which is the Quran. Right. So this is the fortune tellers. Then you get the Arraf, right? These are these people who they do some jadoo, witchcraft, and then they can now either tell you something that you wouldn't know, or that is not known, right? For example, they can tell you your thing that is missing is here, or your lost item can be found here. So here also you've been prohibited to go to these people also. Then the third type of amal is a ramal. That's those people who draw these lines, right? And they also do some calculations, and because of that they can tell you something about the future. So here also, this is also not permissible, right? And you can understand it from this here that Nabi Karim Sam said that firstly, who used to do this ramal? They say it was either Hazrat Idris alayhi salam or Hazrat Daniel alayhi salam, right? Nevertheless, now Nabi Karim Sam is explaining here that whomsoever his lines coincides with the lines of the of that Nabi, then it's okay. In other words, saying since your lines can never coincide with the lines of that Nabi because you don't know how he drew it. You understand it? You will never know how he drew it. So therefore, your amal of that ramal and that drawing lines is not correct. So all these things are not permissible. عن عبد الله بن مسعود رضي الله قال كنا نسلم على النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم وهو في الصلاة فيرد علينا فلما رجعنا من عند النجاشي سلمنا عليه فلم يرد علينا فقلنا يا رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم كنا نسلم عليك في الصلاة فترد علينا فقال إن في الصلاة لشغلا متفق عليه. Then Abdullah ibn Mas'ud said, we used to make salam upon Nabi Karim Sam while she was in salat, and he used to reply upon us. And when we came back from Najashi, we made salam upon him and he didn't reply to us. So we said, Nabi Karim Sam, we used to make salam upon you in your salat, and you used to reply upon us. And so he said, indeed, in salat, there is an engagement with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You are busy in dialogue with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Right. So Nabi Karim Sallallahu when he became when he claimed nubuwwat, then at that time Najashi was a Christian, right? And he was also well learned of the Torah and the Injil, and through this he understood that Nabi Akram is speaking the truth, and he also brought iman, right? And he lived a good life, right? And he passed away on the 9th of Hijrah. And Nabi Karim Sam was also on his passing away. And Nabi Karim Sam, together with Sahaba Ikram, they made janaza al-ghaib, right, for him. Right, obviously now he was that side in Habsha, in Ethiopia, and they made janaza for him here in Medina. Um, uh, right. uh, Ibn Mas'ud radiallahu anhu, he's the one now narrating this hadith. And he says that when we came back, so he was also one of those that went to Habsha, right? He was also one of those that went to Habsha, right? Now, nevertheless, now to make salam, now it's mentioned here that if a person replies the salam with his hand or with his head, then his salah doesn't break. Likewise, if he replies a question with an indication or with his head, then his salah doesn't break, but it's makruh. You understand it? All right. وأن معيقيب رجل عن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم في رجل يسوي التراب حيث يشهد قال إن كنت فاعلا فواحدة. And from Mu'aykib radiallahu anhu, from Nabi Karim Sam, in regards to a man who levels the sand where he makes sajda. So you say if you need to do it, then one time only. So it's mentioned that to make to remove the stones, etc. When going into sajda, it is and to make the land level, it is makruh. Yes, if now it's difficult to make sajda without moving those stones and flattening the land, you can't make proper sajda. Then you can do it, but try and do it in one movement. With one time, you move the stone so that you can make your sajda. وعن أبي هريرة رضي الله عنه قال نهى رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم عن الخصر في الصلاة. And from Abu Hurairah said Nabi is prohibited from khasar in salat. So khasar, some riwayat says ikhtisar, and some riwayat say ayusalliya muhtasiran. Right. So what is khasar? Khasar means to put your hands on your hips. Right. So you've been prohibited to put your hands on your hips and stand in salah. Right. And the reason being is uh, that those people that stand like it, firstly they say are the muftis. That's one, right? That's one reason. Then the other reason is that the people of Jahannam, when they will try to take a rest, they will try to take a rest, and then that's how they will lean onto one side and put their hands on their hips. Just like when a person is tired, and then he leans onto one leg, and then he sort of takes a rest. You understand? He puts his hands on his side. And the other reason given is that Shaitan Mardud, when he was thrown out of Jannah, and when he was thrown, he was put into this world, and when he came down, and then he stood like that. So this is also standing of Shaitan. And Aisha radiallahu ta'ala anha قالت سألت رسول الله عن الالتفات في الصلاة فقال هو اختلاس يختلسه الشيطان من صلاة العبد. And from Aisha radiallahu anha said that I asked Nabi Akram about looking around and turning around in salat. So he said this is a stealing which Shaitan steals from the salat of a person. It snatches, or you can say snatching, which the Shaitan snatches from the salat of a person. Yeah, so a person is obviously now in salah, in communication with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He shouldn't be looking around, and then Shaitan now doesn't want him to, he wants him to look around. So that's how Shaitan makes him look this way and that way. So what it means here is that when a person turns his neck and looks this way and that way, right? Otherwise, just merely with your eyes, you look, your face, your chest is facing clear, but your head's not moving, and just with your eyes a little bit, you move this way, that way, then your namaz doesn't become fasted. Although not makruh also, it's not even makruh to look around with your eyes, but it is khilafe awla. It's the best not to do it. You understand it? So basically, your eyes need to be focused also. When Abi Hurairah radiallahu qala qala Rasulullah la yantahiyanna aqwamun an raf'ihim absarahum inda du'ai bis salati ila samai aw la takhtifanna aw la tukhtafanna absaruhum. Right. Nabi Abu Hurairah radiallahu anhu said, Nabi Akram said that people should hold back and should refrain from raising their gazes at the time of dua in salah to the sky. Otherwise, their eyesight would be snatched, right? Otherwise, their eyesight would be snatched, right? So they say, mutlakan at the time of dua, you don't you don't raise your eyes to the sky, and for the simple reason is that you don't give the impression that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is in the sky. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is free from any direction. Right. 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 And then in one riwayat it comes that Nabi Karim Sallallahu used to raise his eyes to the sky in salah until the ayat came وَالَّذِينَ هُمْ فِي صَلَاتِهِمْ خَاشِعُونَ, and those who are have khushu in their salahs. ونبي قتادة رضي الله عنه قال رأيت النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم يؤم الناس وأمامة بنت أبي العاص على عاتقه فإذا ركع وضعها وإذا رفع من السجود أعادها. Then Abu Qatada said, I saw Nabi Akram making leading the people, and Umama bin Abil As was upon his shoulder, and when he would make ruku, he would put it down, and when he would raise up from sujood, he would put her back. Right. Abu al-Asiya was the son-in-law of Nabi Karim Sallam, was married to Hazrat Zainab radiallahu anha. Right. So what answer here now? Because according to us, that is amal kasir. You understand it? To lift up the child and put him on, and then to put him down again. So one answer we give here is that this was not done intentionally. Rather, the child herself jumped on and jumped off. You understand? So that's our answer that's given there. And the other answer that's given is that this amal was done at that time when amal kathir was not yet prohibited, right? And the third answer that's given is that this is specific to Nabi Karim Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Okay, leave it to me.